awful cinematography and aimless performances in horror comedy The Gay Bed and Breakfast of Terror from 2007, written and directed by one James Thompson. Helen and Luella are just another typical God-fearing mother and daughter who happen to bake mincemeat muffins and run a charming, if not a bit faded, bed and breakfast inn. Or are they? On the eve of the biggest gay party weekend of the year, not made advance reservations, 5 couples find themselves having to make accommodations far from the city. There's Dom and Alex, the performers, and Deborah and Gabby, the sophisticated entrepreneurial lipsticks. There's also Mike and Eric, the upscale yuppie power couple, and their annoying fag hag friend Lizette. Also checking in are Star and Brenda, the struggling folk singer and tough talking tomboy, and lastly Rodney and Todd, the sugar daddy and personal trainer. What should have been the biggest gay party weekend of the year quickly turns into every gay and lesbian's worst nightmare. In the middle of the desert of the main highway lies the Sahara Salvation Inn, a small slice of paradise here in the desert. As the guests check in, they slowly come to realize, and some too late, that the Sahara Salvation is not all it appears to be. So what we have here is a classic case of overindulgence. Something that once resembled a good satire is left to rot within one of the worst cinematic fads that has ever been, which was the fake Grindhouse picture, emerging of course due to the Tarantino and Rodriguez collaboration in 2007. This obnoxious trend, encouraged mostly by low-budget filmmakers who never heard of the word context, or simply wanted to just cash in, created a sludge of loosely compiled 90-minute comedy sketches so atrociously paced that Adult Swim would have even considered them too derivative. The Gay Bed and Breakfast of Terror may not have started out as a cash-in on Grindhouse, but that's how it ended up, and it's just as terrible as many of its contemporaries. The film is a cocktail of poor lighting, witless comedy, and actors who look like they don't seem to know what the fuck they are doing. This is not a gay film thing. I have seen well-directed and acted examples of this subgenre before. Its problems lie more in its overstressed attempts to be camp and intentionally bad, a la John Waters, which only come off here as desperate. The Gay Bed and Breakfast, like near all fake Grindhouse films, suffers from a severe identity crisis. A political edge is evident here, and some of the satire does land, but also it tries to be a character-based comedy and fails at that due to the script's limp dialogue and its over-reliance on crude stereotypes. Not only do you have to deal with that, you also have to deal with the film also having aspirations of being a parody of the horror genre, and failing miserably at that as well. The best way I could frame The Gay Bed and Breakfast of Terror is that it seems pretty much that it was actively trying to be the direct LGBTQ response to the fake Grindhouse trend I mentioned earlier. It features art direction that is trying to evoke the 70s in some way, poorly. It's also over the top in its violence, but very self-aware of it. But even then, none of it fucking matters though. Shit with glitter is still shit. If the filmmakers really wanted to execute a meaningful response to the fad, then they simply should have just made a slasher film with a lot of gay sex in it and leave it at that. But it seems that this gay horror film instead wanted to achieve many variable, ambitious things and pulls none of them off with any real success. In conclusion, The Gay Bed and Breakfast of Terror is an absolute mess with no idea of what it really wants to do. It's tedious, meandering, and doesn't even have all that much sex appeal. So I have no clue how this would appeal to anyone in the year of our Lord 2019, an underlit, underfocused parody of a trend of movies no one really gave a shit about, even at the time. Not so much a time capsule of independent cinema in the late 2000s as a mere relic. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe. Tomorrow's film is Dead End Road.